this year and next year, and it's going to be critical going forward, but especially for a young team. And I think the fans have to understand that we're going to get the team there, and we appreciate their support and patience, and to know that this is going in the right direction. We're going to get there. I just can't tell you when, but we're going to get there.
Bucky, yeah.
Teddy, does it seem weird to you that you are sitting where you are now when Darcy's first big decision going back after you won Coach of the Year was to give you a one-year deal? You turned it down, and now you come back on a day that he's not here. Is it as weird to you as it is to me?
You know, when Pat called me, I didn't know what to cry, go to sleep. My emotions were all, I just think, what happened, and we learn from our history, and that is Darcy had to do what he did at the time, and like I said, I had a tremendous amount of different experiences, and it taught me to be, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here today. So I'm thankful for everything that happened, and just happy to be back. Paul?
Pat, I'm intrigued by something Terry said. He said that you felt you were cut out for this job, but you're not cut out to be a general manager. Why is that?
Well,
I asked him the same question, by the way.
I don't have the experience right now in the general manager's job, but I know people, and I know the people out there who know how to do the job. And I think putting together the right people to build that team and everybody working together, I think that's my strengths. And so I told Terry, do I think I could become a really good general manager? Yeah, I do. I don't have the experience right now. And honestly, I think my strengths are people and making sure everybody's on board and doing their jobs. So I told him, I said, I could probably grow into that position, but right now, I think I could best serve you in building the hockey operations side of things.
Jim?
And Paul, don't forget, there's no emperor. So in a way, he doesn't know it, but he really is a part GM. It's the cross-pollination of responsibilities.
In the short term, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim?
Ted, I don't know if you remember, you told me the story when you were first hired by the Sabres. You were crossing the Peace Bridge, and a Peace Bridge inspector asked you if you had heart and soul in your trunk. How do you bring that back to the Sabres locker room, which is pretty dysfunctional right now? And the second part is, are you keeping all the assistant coaches?
Yes, we will be keeping assistant coaches. How do you bring it back? I had a lot of chance to reflect on when I coached here before. I came out of junior hockey and everything was just a blur and a flash, and all of a sudden, when I did get let go, I had a couple of years to really reflect on what I did and how I did it, and so forth. And it teaches you how to be even better what you do going forward. So. How do we do it? And we did it the same way we do it before. We find the people who are willing to sacrifice certain things that other people won't want to sacrifice. Watching Brad May skate around and Matthew Barnaby and Rob Ray and all those type of guys and Patty, and they had a certain element, a certain mystique about them, and the secret is finding those people. And the number one thing I'll be doing with the hockey team is sitting down with a lot of players individually and find out what kind of people they are first, and see if they're willing to commit the attitude and desire that we need to bring a championship team here to Buffalo. Mike?
I'm Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News. Pat and Ted, welcome back. I'd like to get both of your thoughts. This is not an off-season change where you have time to build a program. This is the worst team in the NHL right now. If there's any such thing as an embarrassing victory, I think last night would classify as it. In the immediate short term, what are you going to do with this team right now with a home-and-home with the Leafs this weekend?
Well, we're going to, right after this press conference, we're going to go sit down with the team. I'm going to talk to them and introduce Ted. And then we're going to take it from there. We're going to exercise patience and understand this isn't going to turn overnight. We have a vision going forward. We'll start to do that going forward. But I think the first thing that has to happen is there's changes occurred. And Teddy will work on that room, work with the coaches. We'll get everybody on board. And I think patience is going to be important. And I think when we do something and we put a lot of thought into it, make sure it's the right move, and make sure that at the end of the day it fits that vision to be the type of organization and team we want to be at the end. And I have to add, too, I was coming across the Lewiston Bridge yesterday, and I was in the back. I was at some the general manager's meetings. I had a Hall of Fame meeting, and the gentleman had looked at the picture, and he saw my face, and he goes, "Oh." And he said, "Where were you?" And I said, "I was at the Hall of Fame." And then he looked, and he goes, "Oh," we got all excited. He said, "You should be running the Sabres." And I told him, maybe that'll happen one day.
Ted? Right now, I guess some things change, but some things stay the same. And I haven't changed my philosophy on how I approach the game of hockey. I want people who compete, and I think fans and people that support our hockey team, we're in the entertainment business, and we have to entertain people, and we have to play it with a certain amount of and the players get paid pretty well nowadays. So what we're going to do immediately is get these guys to compete and work, and that's all you can do for now. And good Lord willing, some good bounces, you win. But the bottom line is make sure that we compete at a certain level, and make sure when the fans leave here, they don't feel cheated. They don't feel like I just wasted whatever they paid for their ticket, because we want them to walk away here feeling good about themselves, and us feeling good that we give everything that we had.
John?
Pat, John Warrow again. Two questions. One, because I have to ask this question about the customs guy. Did you know then that this was happening?
Yes, I did.
So you didn't declare it?
I couldn't declare it at the time. But I wasn't bringing anything over with me, so.
The other question is also for you, Pat. The biggest question mark about this team right now is Ryan Miller and his status. What can you say about that, knowing that this is new to you, and what are your designs in regards to his status with this team?
Well, that's something I'll be talking to Kevin with and our pro scouts, and we're going to be looking at all those situations right away. I do want to sit down and meet the players, talk to Ryan, and as far as I'm concerned, the players are going to get to know myself and Ted real well, and we have to work together. So I can't tell you what's going to happen. Could happen in the short term, might happen later in the season, but and he might be here. So I can't tell you what's going to happen, other than we'll exercise patience and we'll do the right thing by the organization and by the player that fits into what we want to achieve.
Yes?
Hi there. Katie Morse from YNN. Just wanted to ask, you're meeting the players today. Have they had no contact with either one of you until this point? They had no knowledge of this?
No, none whatsoever.
And what, I know you kind of talked about that you're going to take things step by step with them. Are you going to be talking about what's most important to them, and what comes first in that conversation?
Well, in time, I'll get to know the players and get to know what's going on, and so will Teddy. I mean, it's not just coaching them, it's getting to know them and understand the importance of what they mean to this organization. And like I said, when I said top to bottom, it goes right through. The players in that room have to be on board. They have to know that they're supported by myself and everybody else. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to go in that direction.
We're going to wrap up now. Just so everybody, a couple housekeeping things before we all move up. Pat and Ted will be available, but they haven't even gone back with the team yet. They have to be on the ice. Ted needs to be on the ice at 12:30's practice. After practice, Coach Nolan will be available to the media in the media room after the practice takes place. But we're going to have the four of them over here for a photo op if we want, and then the other gentlemen will be available. But keep in mind that they only have about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we got to get them into the back for practice. Again, that concludes the formal presentation, press conference. Thank you.